What's going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 35 of the NERDcast. I welcome Danny.
I'm eating an apple, sorry.
And Will.
Hello. Hello.
The pinnacle of professional. And
I was hungry. I'm sorry,
I'm Lee. And yeah, we don't really have a theme for this episode or any sort of thing. Lately we've been sticking to themes, but this is just a grab bag of whatever we want to talk about, so...
I feel like this is going to end terribly. It's going to be awesome.
Hashtag play Destiny.
Well, I wish I could do that, but...
Yeah, Lee.
Yeah, Lee.
I was super close to buying it for my PS3, but the only thing that was holding me back was that if I
buy it and then upgrade for free, right?
Yeah.
If I do get it, but then I have to download it, and it's like 50 gigs.
But you have to install. Oh yes, I was gonna say you got to.
So
install, but installing is different than downloading. Okay.
I'd have to download it over a period of like 5 months to ration it out, so I don't go over my cap.
Or we go to Coffee Culture and steal their.
We
can do this. We can do this. Set up a TV and a PS4 on like a table and just go to town. All right, moving.
Yeah. But yeah, and the only other thing is, I think since the PS3 I have now, the laser like quit on it. It stopped reading before, and I got it replaced. But now I think this one is dying because it's not reading discs at all or very well. Like I have to it'll sit there and read, and then it'll stop, and so I have to like eject it and try it again like 10 or 15 times.
Cater to update to the PS4.
Yeah. Well, I know, but I'm still playing Fallout.
Fair. Actually, we're just gonna do a test here. Can you guys hear me chewing right now?
Yeah. Yes.
Can you hear it?
Well, it made a weird chewing noise, but it also made a really weird like whooshing noise, and I hope that wasn't you chewing.
No, I have moved the mouthpiece of my headset over to the or I can just like cover it up with my hand.
If it is you chewing and you're making that kind of noise, you should probably stop the podcast and go to the doctor.
No, I'm perfectly safe. Well, I'm not going to say I'm perfectly healthy. I am trying to be. I'm eating an apple, but whatever.
You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah, this is step 1. Step 2 is getting out and walking.
Step 2 is going outside.
Yep, walking to something other than class and work.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Or walking to the store to buy unhealthy food to eat. That kind of defeats the purpose, but whatever.
To start.
Yeah. It balances out. Cancels each other out. I'm proud. I'm definitely proud of it.
Right, he's just like, well, I walked all the way here, so yeah, I could rationalize that box of Twinkies.
So 10-minute walk to the store. I'm going to buy those Cheetos, and I will eat them on the way back.
Well, I'm walking. It's like zero gain.
Zero gain,
it's
zero loss. It's just a net. It's just a net even. It's just even. There we go. Winner, chicken dinner. Yeah, I'm 2005. What?
Winner, Cheeto dinner.
Cheeto dinner. Yeah, what?
That's what I'm calling this episode.
All right.
So what have you guys been doing other than being lazy?
Destiny. Will and I are playing some Destiny. It's fun.
Yeah.
We're not going to get into it until Lee starts to play it.
I've heard things. The main thing I'm getting is that people are saying it's not really anything special. It's the mechanics are okay. It looks like it looks good. It looks like a next gen, but like it's on par, right? But then people are also saying they're saying like it's average across the board, but they can't stop playing it.
That I will agree with that. One thing I will say is like don't treat it as an MMO, but treat it as an MMO in the fact that MMOs get better over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that.
When you get through the story of it, you'll realize this is a prologue.
Oh, and just saying right now, the story is pointless.
Yeah.
I'm not even halfway through the story, and I don't know what's going on. All I know is that Peter Dinklage talks a lot, and it makes the game better.
Yeah, I've heard that people call him Dinklebot.
Yep, I was just gonna say Dinklebot is what I have referred to him as. Everyone has their own Dinklebot.
What else was I gonna say? I heard that it's like people were saying that like they were talking about like when it first came out, like the launch day. That was just like, they're talking about how good it was and everything like that. And then once some people started hitting level 20, like a few days later, they were just like, oh my god, this game is so awesome. It doesn't start until you hit level 20.
That's what I've heard too. I haven't reached level
I'm
20 yet. I'm only
inclined to
level
believe
14, so 13
Yeah,
or 14.
I'm inclined to believe that. I'm level 24 right now. And, yeah.
Yeah, so
I
would also
heard...
say it's the most overhyped game in a long time.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it was overhyped because
Sony overhyped it, and Activision knows how to hype a game.
Well, I mean, it's because it's the most expensive game ever made.
That was a rumor. I remember I was reading somewhere where they said it was like $500 million.
Yeah.
But that was taken out of context in that
Well, this is all 5 games.
Yeah, it's a 10-year plan for them. So the whole 10-year plan is going to cost them $500 million.
Oh, really?
That's what I've heard. I could be wrong.
That's true.
But that seems more logical. Like, I don't even think Activision is stupid enough to spend $500 million on a game. To spend $500 million on a game.
Well, I could see that. I could see that, especially considering they had commercials everywhere. They had commercials on the opening Thursday night football, like prime time slot, which is not cheap.
yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
Million right
Again,
there.
Activision has the money for it.
So I figured that was what a large chunk of it was going towards, was the advertising budget. Because that's a Hollywood trick, is that they say, oh, the movie cost this much to make, but it's advertising. And it's the same reason why Beats cost so much. It's all advertising.
It's also like, the Hollywood analogy is good because you read all these parts about like how movies, like the movie Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
That Tom Cruise Groundhog Day sci-fi movie.
Well, it's not called Edge of Tomorrow anymore.
Why? What's it called now?
Oh, did you hear about that?
No, I didn't. Doesn't show how much I pay attention to it.
It was released as Edge of Tomorrow, but then when they brought it out on like DVD, they kind of put it in like the subtitle Edge of Tomorrow, and then they just have in big letters, it's like live, die, repeat, and then in the bottom it's just like it's like Cruise and what's her name? I don't remember who it was that was
Blunt.
in it.
Emily Blunt.
Yeah, Emily Blunt. So it's like Cruise, Blunt, Edge of Tomorrow, and it's just like, oh, okay.
Oh, I get it. So they're stupid.
So you're just trying. And I don't understand because that name is terrible. Like Edge of Tomorrow, like okay, it doesn't really.
It's a very cliched name, but it's a name of a film.
Yes,
it's a name. Like at least it's a name, not like a phrase. Like but what I was saying was I read somewhere that it made $183 million more than its budget, but it was still considered a failure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because marketing. Because that film was everywhere. That film was everywhere. Like I would be watching films 6 months before in theaters, and they would still be showing previews of it.
That's also like the Hollywood accounting. Is that because they find a way to make it so that it's technically didn't do good on paper. But yeah, I don't know all the details that go into
I'd take another bite.
But yeah, that kind of stuff can happen. So I can kind of see that. And if that's true about what you're saying about how that's like the whole cycle of it, I don't know. That's kind of shady because the entire game of Grand Theft Auto, which before Destiny came out was the most expensive game ever made at like $240 million or something like that.
All right, I'll be back. I'm gonna throw this apple out. It's kind of distracting me.
And like, so if it's costing that much, and as it stands right now, they all of a sudden decided to bring the next gen versions out. I have no idea if that's into the price or if it was just the original, like the PS3, Xbox. There's no DLC out, or even DLC. I'm talking about like story DLC, like the big packs, because they've had online stuff, but no like big $10 DLC stuff announced or even in the talks yet. I don't think. So I can't see where the money went for that.
Sorry guys, my mini fridge is right next to my chair. When I turned around, I smacked my knee. The shit I do for this podcast.
Just risk injury.
Yep, I'm gonna contact HR. Gonna get sick leave.
HR.
I have a bruised kneecap. That's what I'm gonna do.
Hey, I just want to let you in on a secret that I've just now appointed Will as the head of HR. So.
What? You now lead our human resources department. Nerdcast Incorporated.
I can work with this.
There you go. Oh, it's not a paid position, by the way.
Yes. I was just about to say that.
It's not paid. You don't get money from this.
We don't get any money for this.
But there's a
don't get
lot of
benefits.
extra
What are you
work
talking about?
involved.
Yeah. You
Gotta
have a
find-
lot of work, and you get less of the benefits than what you had
I have to
before.
find more ways to make fun of Danny.
That's fine. You are the head of HR. You can do that.
Sweet.
Have fun. You're no
I just-
longer held accountable.
I just picture some sort of fictional HR meeting where it's just like, well, we can't have this kind of employee harassment going on. If it was Danny, on the other hand, it'd be totally acceptable. But we can't.
You guys cannot be mean to Lee. But Danny, on the other hand, that asshole.
We've had anonymous complaints from someone that there's too much harassment towards Danny. We both just look towards you.
Guys, we've had anonymous complaints saying that you are not making fun of Danny enough. So I think we should all just ridicule Danny even more.
That's just the HR memo that's passed out.
It's like the HR newsletter. It's like the company newsletter of the month.
And then we all just like, Will, why would you do something like this? And it's like, I just got it from the higher ups.
I only do what I'm told. Just saying. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay, you want to talk about phones now?
Sure, let's do it. Okay, so this was your topic. You wanted to talk about it.
Well, yeah, I guess I should just preface this that I was, like, we've put this off for, 3 episodes now?
This has been going on since when we rebooted Nerdcast about 2 months ago. Even when we had, our first live one, I think you said, I want to talk about phones at some point.
That was 2 years ago, pretty much.
No, our first live one of this, or most recent live one.
Right.
Most recent live one, yeah, sorry.
Did I say that then?
Or
Yeah.
at least it was the one after. I don't know.
No, it was the live one. We talked about phones there.
Well, not during the podcast, but we talked about it.
Well, yeah.
Yes, before or after, whatever. Moving on. Sorry.
But yeah, because I was like, right now I'm still, I still got my iPhone 4. Not 4S, just 4.
Yeah. Will and I can at least say 4S. Yeah.
But,
We got that sexy Siri.
yes, I don't have Siri. But, I got Siri's, broke cousin. But,
Voice control.
yes.
VC.
Which I've never used ever. But yeah, so
Did
I
you
was
get to it by accident one day when you pressed the home button too long?
Yes, that's exactly what happens. Well,
Because I remember you didn't know that when iPhone got the scroll down notification menu, you said you found out about it because you accidentally swiped your finger down.
Yep, that sounds like something that would happen.
Well, anyway.
But yes, so I was like, my home button barely works. My lock screen button barely works. So
I think it's time for a new phone.
So I was like, my phone is literally breaking, and it's getting really slow. But, so I was like, yeah, I think it's time for a new phone, but I now have the dilemma of I have no idea what phone to go with.
Well, this is funny because my old job, I would have customers come in and say that exact thing to me. And they were like, what phone do I go with? And I would be like, I don't know, which one do you want? Why do you think I no longer work there?
Yes. What phone do you want? I don't know. You're supposed to tell me what phone I want. I get this one. And you just pick one off the shelf. Okay.
You're supposed to tell me? Well, I get paid either way, so.
This Razor's pretty fancy.
That's a fancy phone.
This Motorola Razr Flip from 2002. Who's hissing?
I don't know. I was just going to ask that.
That is Sarah working the sink to get some tea.
Oh, it sounded like there was some sort of,
like a
it's
raccoon.
like we got an air breach on the containment level or something.
An air breach in the containment, or someone's outside and a raccoon's hissing at them.
Well, unfortunately, oh god, this is the only place I can sit in the house because I've been here all day.
Oh, my chair, I realized, just reclined back, and that felt really good.
It's just like a symphony of Nerdcast abode.
But anyway, so I kind of limited it, we kind of talked about this a bit even before they announced the new iPhones. So
Right.
I have not factored in, even though, and this is just me, within the first year or two of a new iPhone coming out, I pretty much just write off even the option of getting it, because it's like, when I try to get my 4, I got my 4 when it came out, and I say that with a big asterisk because I called week after week after week to Rogers, like, do you have 4s in? Do you have 4s in? Do you have
that's what
4s
I'm
in?
going to have to be doing. For the
No,
6.
no. And I was like, I was pretty much at the point where I probably just could have asked them all their names and been on first name basis with everybody at the Rogers store and just be like, hey, I'm calling again, and they'd be like, Lee, and it'd be like an episode of Cheers but over the phone, right?
Yes.
But and so I'd just be like, you got the 4 in, and they'd be like, no, and I'd be like, I'll call you next week, and then that was pretty much I don't even know how long, months
Well,
that happened.
That's the dilemma I'm in too, because like I was planning on getting the 6 because I read the rumors, I hear the rumors, and the 6 seemed like my phone. It was a larger iPhone. My contract is up. I need a new phone, so I called Bell the other day, and they were like, you might want to place a pre-order down. I was like, no, I'll be fine. Regretted it immediately because I'm probably gonna call in Friday, and they're gonna be like, nope, we don't have it. We're not expecting it till mid-November. Well, shit.
Of 2016.
You'll probably get it when iPhone 8s comes out. We might discount it by then as well. But no, like I'm in the same dilemma because my phone is now like I was talking about this before the podcast. My music app doesn't work. Just learned about that on the walk home today. My home button you have to hit twice, so it's like one of those like things where you hit it and it might as well pop up. Are you sure you want to hit the home button? Yes.
My home button, basically, the way it feels is if you took like a pipe cleaner and you wrapped it into a spring shape and then you glued a piece of paper on the top of it and then just like tried to press down. That's what it feels like. It's all springy and wobbly and weird.
That's never a good thing.
No, that sounds terrible.
But I knew something was wrong when since my music app wasn't working, I tried to use Siri to play a song. So I pressed like the button on my microphone and Siri came up and I was like, play this song. And then I've never had this. Oh, sorry, something's wrong.
Really?
Ooh.
Siri said that?
Yeah, it was like, something's
I'm sorry,
wrong.
Danny, I cannot do that.
I'm sorry, something is wrong. Do you want to try again? I was like, are you kidding me? I'm just asking you to play this one song.
It just starts to sing Daisy Bell.
Or I was expecting like a wah, wah, wah. Yeah, so... But anyway, so you're trying to figure out what phone you want.
Yeah, and I think... And see, we can discuss this because it's pretty much you guys that are holding me back. But
yeah.
Because iMessage.
Yes,
yeah,
but I was like...
We all have an iMessage conversation.
Right now, Rogers has a deal where you can get the iPhone... Or not iPhone, the Samsung Galaxy S4.
Which one? S4? Okay.
Yeah, the S4.
Which is still a good phone, even by the
You can get
measures
it for free with a plan upgrade, right?
You can do that with the iPhone 5S too now, I think.
Yeah, well, I don't know about that. That might have changed now that the 6 is coming out, so I'll have to look into that. But yes, free is a big bonus because the way I'm thinking of it is like if I can get the 4 now for no money, then I can wait a year when I can get my upgrade and then just get like a new phone for a discount. So if I wanted the new Galaxy, so I could get like the S5 for cheaper than it would if I got it now.
Yeah.
So...
It's weird because like if you're thinking about like whether or not to go iPhone or Android, like it's more or less like I'm locked in to iPhone's world. I don't like it. I don't hate it either.
We have become one.
It's like I buy apps on the App Store. I buy movies and music on iTunes. I do all that stuff. I have a MacBook. Everything syncs perfectly. I put something in my calendar on my iPhone, it comes up on my calendar on my Mac, and then I look at these Android phones, I'm like, but you're all beautiful. I want you.
And see,
but I feel like I have to divorce the other.
The good thing about Android phones is it's just like, this calendar works all right, but I could probably get a better one. Delete the one that came with it and get a better one. It's like, this messaging app works okay, but I could probably get a better one. Delete that one and get another one.
See, on iPhone, it's more like this. Oh, that calendar app is great. I'm just going to download the other one. But my brother or its sibling is always going to follow me saying, can I play? Can I play? Can I play? That's pretty much what it is. Because you can't delete their stupid stock apps. It's up like you can delete apps on the Mac. Like I can get rid of Safari if I wanted to. Like if I truly wanted to, I could. Because
we really want you to use Safari. It's a good experience. This is Apple saying that. It's a good browser. You should use it. And it's like, okay, yeah, I'll begrudgingly use it. And then
download Chrome.
Yes, and then Google's like, well, no, before Chrome came out. So Google's like, hey, we're going to have this Chrome app, and it'll interface with Google Chrome on your desktop and everything like that. And then it's just like, okay, that's a good idea. But you still can't make it your default browser because fuck you.
That is if there's anything about iOS that I hate, it's that, because you can make Chrome your default browser on your Mac.
Yes.
You can do that. And so if you do like a Spotlight search on your Mac and you say open in a browser, it opens it up in frickin' Chrome. But then I'm trying to do the easy Spotlight searches in iOS, and I say search web, opens up Safari. Every time I feel like while it's opening up the app, just a middle finger is coming at me. That's how I feel every time. Like, how hard is it? Like, how difficult is it to add would you like to use this as your default browser? I know it's just Apple being like, oh, we want to keep everything, like we want to control everything. Well, sometimes you can't control it all, bro.
Yeah, well, I know. They want to make it so that everything you search goes into Safari, so then they can get your information to mine and sell to other companies instead of Google.
Well, Apple's actually fairly good with not keeping all of your data, so they say.
Well, but you can't say that they're not doing that because there's huge money in selling that.
Oh, yeah, they are. But they don't do it as bad as, say, like Google or anything like that. But no, I love like the iOS interface. I love that stuff, but just the lure of certain Android phones, like the lure of buying the Nexus 5 for like $400, no contract, no, you own it, you do whatever you want. If I wanted to freaking put whatever I want, I can. But then you get an iPhone 6, $400 on a contract.
Is that how much it is?
For the 64 gig. Oh, this is where Apple also like really screwed up with the iPhone 6, in my opinion. They originally had it where, like, which iPhone 4 storage do you have? Is it the 16 gig?
I think I have the 16.
So before it was 16, 32, and 64. That's fair.
Yeah, now that was the way it always was, even with like the iPods.
Yeah. Now it's 16, 64, and 128.
Really?
Ooh.
Yeah, so I want to get the 64 gig because I kind of need more storage, because I can't even download iOS 8 because I don't have enough storage on my phone. You need 4.5 gigs. I have 900 meg left. I
heard that. Like, to install the new iOS 8 is like a huge amount that you need on there.
Yeah, it's kind of pointless. Like, I can't download. Well, I can't even use my phone technically right now. But it's just, why couldn't they make the 16 gig? Why couldn't they make the base capacity 32? Because 32 would be fine. Like, all I just want to do is put all my music and download all these apps on it. Because all my music itself is 8 gigs.
Yeah, but that's also another marketing thing, and the car companies do that a lot, where it's just like, hey, this is how much it costs, and it's like, if you want an iPhone, or an iPhone 6, it costs, let's say, $200 or whatever, right? X amount of dollars, and then you go, oh, well, that's for the base model, so it's 16 gigs. It's like, so if you want something that's actually useful, you have to pay twice that.
Yeah, but, charging that amount for the 64 gig, that's fine, because they're charging the same amount for the 64 gig this year that they charged for the 32 gig last year, which is fine. That's actually a good thing. But keeping the 16 gigabyte as the base model, I'm sorry, man. That's like insulting in a way.
What is this, 2006?
Yeah, come on. And but everything else, with Apple, it's one of those, like, you know what? I've used it and I love it. And iMessage is awesome, because I can talk to you guys through my phone, and then I can go on my Mac, and the conversation is still there. If I had an iPad, it would be there too. Like, it would just... And now, let's see, especially with, like, iOS 8, Apple's doing stuff that's really actually cool. Because in iOS 8, when they release the new version of OS 10 as well, there's something called continuity, where not only can iMessage stuff be shown on your Mac, but regular text messaging, like SMS.
Really?
Yeah, because your computer can detect your phone, and it acts as a relay. So not only can you answer SMS messages on your Mac or your iPad, but you can make phone calls too. It's really cool, and no one else has done this. At least I don't think so. I looked around, couldn't find it.
I don't know why we still have like phone lines. Like, why don't we just do all this over the internet?
I really have no idea. I actually think it's funny that there's a home phone in my student house.
Really?
Doesn't work. Yeah, and it's really funny because when Belle set up her internet, they had to give us a home phone number. I laughed at the guy. I was like, okay, I'm never going to use it, but that's fine.
Yeah, well, it's the same as my parents keep talking about how they're going to cancel the home phone. And then, no, every time my mom calls, right, she's just like, okay, we're going to cancel the phone. And then they're just like, well, it's technically part of your package. So to keep your phone, it's cheaper. Like, if you get rid of it, your monthly cost for your, like, satellite and stuff will go up to, like, $5. Because it's, like, part of a package.
And no, see, that's one thing where where they're right as well. Because, like, for instance, for our internet, we have an unlimited internet package here because there's 7 people living in our house. So 7 people using. Oh, by the way, that slows down our internet too because 7 people using one router. Yeah. Whew. But what happened was.
Oh, and probably like everybody as soon as they leave just start downloading movies.
Yeah. So think about this: not only 7 people using their computers, plus their phones, plus any significant others or friends over using our Wi-Fi. So that shit adds. Not to mention Will and I playing Destiny.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
Me playing Destiny that's a persistent online.
I just picture you just like go down to the router and just like reset it and then hook up first, and it's just like everyone's like, why isn't this working? Like, I don't know.
Just just go into like the router settings, get everyone's MAC address, cancel it every time I'm playing Destiny, just so I can have a good internet connection, because Will knows I've cut out a few times when we've been playing.
It's exciting.
It's amazing, guys.
I've heard that their servers are not too good.
Well, then it's not completely my fault.
Yeah.
But like what I'm saying was like we have an unlimited data package, and it's costing us an extra $30 a month, which is not a lot when it's divided up among 7 people. That's fine. But if we had Bell TV, Bell Home or Bell Internet, which we have, and Bell Mobility, which I have my phone as, like it can be $10 a month instead of $30. So they bundle stuff together to give you the incentive. So if you dropped, say, your home phone, for instance, you might not have one of the discounts you have might not be like it's only applied if you have that package and you bundle it all together. Because also when you bundle your services together with like Bell or Rogers, they actually like take money off, because like my phone bill is $5 cheaper because I have it tied to my internet bill.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't like that.
Well, I mean,
I like that, but then if I want to cancel, I don't like that.
Yeah.
It's one of those like, damn it.
But I mean, it's kind of funny to think that this bundling thing is literally the only reason why like home phones are hanging on.
It is. You can sort of see it going away, because it used to be where you had to have the home phone with it, but now they're saying home phone or mobile. Like, I know I worked for the Source, which was owned by Bell. A lot of the times I would advertise that to them, and be like, home phone, don't worry, you can use your cell phone too. It's fine.
But it's going to be kind of funny to think, like, people our age are going to, like, or people our age and even younger are going to move out and not have satellite or cable.
We're going to have, like,
not have
fiber
a
optic
home phone.
TV.
Yeah, it's like...
Look at phone books. Phone books are going now. Like, dude,
phone books are dead.
Anywhere.
They still hand them out, but they're pretty much irrelevant at this point.
Yeah, you only find them in, like, the one Bell payphone in Grimsby.
I also like how people are always like, I want my number online. That's ridiculous. Blah 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 blah. It's just it's been in the phone book. That people have had their numbers in a book that gets sent to everybody for decades.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
But like what I'm saying was, yeah, because I know when I like live on my own, like I'm living on my own right now, but like when I'm actually done school and when I'm living on my own job, I am not having a home phone. It's just everything. No. And I imagine my wife is gonna not like imagine like if Jamie and I get married, she's not gonna have a home phone either, so we're all just gonna use our cell phones.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. And I've told to my mom a million times. Like, she always has, like, her home phone, and she'll be, like, calling and stuff, and I'll be like, you could get a cell phone with you everywhere, not pay for your home phone, because I actually think they're not, like, bundling things together. Because my mom's phone is a prepaid phone with Virgin Mobile, and our home phone is with Bell, and our internet and our cable and our TV are with Bell as well. So I was just like, if you just got a Bell phone, you can bundle that and then get rid of the home phone altogether, and then you wouldn't have to have like someone walk up and pick up the phone every time. It could always be on you.
Yeah.
Like, she always gives me crap when she calls me and I don't answer my phone even though it's on me, partially because my phone's on silent, so I never actually hear it or feel it or anything. But like, your phone, like your cell phone, is one thing that's always going to be on you. And because she runs her own business, that seems like the perfect thing. Why don't you have it?
Yes.
Like, you run your own business, have a phone. Like, you have, like, her business, she has planned it out and set it up perfectly, except for that one thing. It's literally like, I'm like, you're this close. You're standing behind the finish line, and literally all you need to do is make that one step. And she's not doing it. She's like, no, I'm fine here.
But yeah, and I was gonna say, like, even cable or satellite TV, like, it's kind of pointless now. Like, it's good to have, but I mean,
like Netflix and stuff now.
Yes, and I mean, even if, like, a lot of people say, like, the only reason I have cable or satellite is for sports, but now you can get the NFL package, the NHL package, like, I'm pretty sure they even have an NBA package, like, on your console or like anything like that.
It's still kind of frustrating because I subscribe to NHL Game Center.
Yeah.
Like hockey's the only thing I watch, or sometimes I'll watch football and sometimes I'll watch basketball. But like, what happens is, like, this is where I think, like, because I told a Bell rep who was trying to sell me TV, I'm like, the only reason why I would get TV is for Sportsnet, TSN, and AMC, so I can watch The Walking Dead. And the thing is, with NHL Game Center, I can't watch the Toronto Maple Leafs. I can't watch games that are being broadcast on TSN or games that are being broadcast on Sportsnet because they're regional games and they black out those games.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Like, it's outrageous.
It's stupid. It's terrible. Because, like, what happened was last year, when I was subscribed to it last year, the only teams I watched were the Islanders, the Penguins, and the Minnesota Wild. And, like, sometimes I would watch, that was it. Those are the only three teams. But if I was watching, like, if Toronto was playing on TSN, I would get my parents' Bell TV log in on my computer and watch it on the TSN Go website, or I would watch Hockey Night in Canada on CBC.ca. But you can't watch that on NHL Game Center. That's why TV is still important, because they black out those games.
Yeah,
they black out all your regional games.
Aside from the fact that that's total bullshit. But,
it's terrible. It's like, this is where it gets even worse. NHL Game Center is pointless for the playoffs, because all games are broadcast in the playoffs on CBC or TSN.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, so, like, I remember I was talking to the NHL Game Center support line because it wasn't working one day, and I said, so, just to clarify, because you black out regional games, am I able to watch playoff games? And he said, oh, no, because those are broadcast on, like, all regions and TSN and, like, Hockey Night in Canada, unfortunately, we do black those out. I'm like, you do understand that people who get NHL Game Center, they get that because they can't watch it on their TV? And then you're taking that away?
Did you say that to the guy?
Well, I kind of made that, like, comment to him. Like, I didn't want to be a dick about it.
Yeah.
I'm not a dick.
It's not his fault.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
He's just a guy on a call. He's on the other side doing the call support. But that's basically what it is. Like, I bought NHL Game Center because I don't have a TV. Well, I have a TV, but I don't have, like, a TV package.
Yeah.
I can't watch their games. How the hell else am I going to watch their games except for NHL Game Center? And then the most exciting part of hockey, you're not going to let me watch.
Well, I mean, and
that is utter bullshit.
I kind of ran into the same problem when I wanted to. It was last summer that, like, I was on my computer and I was just like, I want to listen to the Jays game while I'm doing something, right? Like, I don't want to watch it on TV, and I'm on my computer in my room, so I don't have, like, access to an actual TV. And it's like, I could, like, I guess find a stream, but that's technically, like, illegal. It's like, I just want to listen to the radio broadcast, because
we do things legal here at NERDcast.
Well, and I mean, like, I really like the radio broadcast. Like, it's an excellent broadcast, but
I always find that radio broadcasts of baseball games are perfect.
Oh, especially the Jays, because
they do a damn good job.
But anyway, so I was like, I'm sure, like, I can just go on, like, thefan590.com and listen to their feed, right?
Yeah.
That works, but not during a Jays game. they air
oh my
old
God.
stuff during the game, and it's like that section is blacked out. But as soon as the game ends, it cuts back to the actual radio feed.
Let's
so
be
like,
realistic, guys. It's all
listen
about
to
money
this.
on their
So
part.
it's like, so I could go online and not be able to listen to the Jays game, or I could go down and get this stupid radio, like this portable radio that costs $5 at a Best Buy, put a few AA batteries in it, and listen to the Jays game completely free. It's like, do you understand what's happening here? It's like, and I was like, even if, let's say that it's like for this Jays game, and I was like, okay, so if I'm going to be doing this a lot, like, how much would it cost? Because I was going to pay to listen to it online. And I was like, you have to pay for the full season.
Oh my God.
And so I was like, oh, I just want to listen to this one game. It's like, I want to pay like 99 cents to listen to the odd game every now and then. And I can't do that.
Think about it like the way music is done on iTunes. Instead of buying an entire album with 8 shitty songs, I can buy the one good song off their album.
Yeah,
I don't want to pay $49.99 for an entire year of broadcasting when I literally just want to listen to this one game, and I'll pay you 99 cents.
Like, and that's what I mean. So even if it was like $50 for the whole year, you could pay that. So then they could also say it's like, okay, if there's 140 games, whatever it is, I don't remember the exact number, but it's like, if it's 99 cents a game, this is how much it's going to cost, and then this is how much the year long is going to cost. Obviously, that's going to be a savings because it's
an
might miss a
incentive
game.
to get you to buy the whole year, but
Yes,
most people want to
but
do
I mean,
that.
like,
I don't want to.
It's like, sometimes I might watch it on TV. Sometimes I might be listening to it in the car when I'm driving, right? It's like, so if I'm on my computer and it's like I get a notification on my phone, it's like, oh, the Jays game's starting, I could listen to it. And then I can't just put in my credit card number and listen for 99 cents for an hour to 3 hours of baseball for whatever. Like, just the odd game. It's like, I want to pay you and you're not giving me a way to do it.
It's just bullcrap. I'm still reeling over the whole playoff thing with the NHL. Like, I'm sorry.
And that's bullshit too. And what you said is exactly right.
It's
people
like,
use that because they don't have an alternative.
Yeah, like the other thing is Netflix, which I'm sure we all have.
Yes.
Like, you have it. Will, do you have it?
Do I have what? Sorry, I zoned out.
Sorry, Netflix. Do you have Netflix like you and Sarah?
Oh, yeah, we started talking about
question. Of course, I have Netflix.
We started talking about the sports ball, and so Will just zoned right out.
We'll just went somewhere else there.
But it's one of those things where Netflix would be fantastic, or Canadian Netflix would be fantastic if we had anything cool on it.
They've actually been doing really good lately.
Recently, Star Trek The Next Generation's on there now, so that makes me quite happy. And they put The Dark Knight Rises on there so we can hear Bane talk like this all the time.
Yes, I'm Bane.
I was born in the dark, molded by it.
But
what I'm saying is, like, I want, like, I don't have, like, say, a TV or, like, a TV package to watch, like, Forrest Gump on a Sunday, or I don't have a movie rental place anywhere anymore, since pretty much they're all gone.
There's a Jumbo Video around the corner from where I live.
Family Video still exists.
Ottawa, what is going on?
Jumbo Video still exists.
The
Jumbo,
thing,
they left Grimsby like 10 years ago.
The only thing more outdate, the only thing more out of touch culturally than the city of Ottawa is the politicians in it.
Oh my god! But it's
that's really funny. I went to the library a while ago and they had PS3 games there.
Really?
That's good. It's still sort of relevant.
Yeah.
It's on the cusp of being not relevant anymore.
Yeah.
But it's just like TV has become like pointless. TV packages have become pointless because I have an Apple TV just hooked up to my TV that gives me Netflix, that gives me NHL Game Center. If I wanted to, I can get NFL Now because I believe that's now an app on there. Same thing if you get like a Roku box, they have all that on there, or the Amazon Fire TV. You don't need this stuff. Yet they still push it on you because it's the like, or to quote the Bell rep, he's like, yo man, I'm gonna see what I can get for you for this package so you can save money. And I love that when they give you the brochure and it has like the packages of TV you can get, but then you're like, I don't think it can, like, I kind of don't want to spend the money. Oh, don't worry, I'm sure I can find you a deal. I'm like, working for them, I know they can. There are ways you can put in you could just be like, hey, yeah, I'm just gonna put in this here and it's like a customer incentive. It's like, I'll give you a month free.
I was gonna say,
it's not advertised, but fuck.
I picture in a distant future where the internet is dominant and they still have blackout games based on regionality because it's an archaic system that should not exist.
God.
And then it's just like, the NHL would like to introduce the new team from Anonymous Proxy. It's like, so now anybody using an anonymous proxy, that game gets blocked out.
What I'm looking forward, and I can feel like this is going to happen, you can subscribe for $139.99 a year to NHL Game Center, but now the added feature for an extra $50 a year, or no, for an extra $140 a year, no blackouts.
So you have to pay double for no blackouts.
No, that's what I think they're going to do in the future, because let's be realistic, it's all about business.
Yeah.
Because like Rogers owns everything hockey in Canada now. Like, so
who does
they own
that?
half of.
Well, I'm wondering if it's because that app is the same in the States and here, right? So is it the same company in the States and here that's running that app, or is it like Rogers owns it here and...
This is where I should do a little bit more research, but this is where I'm a little confused. So Rogers, they own half of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, Bell owns the other half, but Rogers owns, Rogers now owns, like, almost all of hockey in Canada. Like, they have the national rights, and they own Hockey Night in Canada now. Like, they sub-license it to CBC, which I think is a tragedy, because, like, the only reason I turned to CBC is to watch Hockey Night in Canada. But it's one of those things where I feel like it's the same thing in the States with probably, like, NBC. Because NBC is the national provider of hockey in the States, or for anyone who watches hockey in the States, probably in the northern states.
Do they still highlight the puck in the States?
No.
I know they did that for a while.
They did for a little bit, and then they realized how stupid they were. But what happened was, I think that's exactly like what it is, because they just assume that you have the TV package if you're living in this in that region. So you have because if I get the package. Like, if I get, like, the basic Bell package, I will have access to a TSN. No matter what. If I get the basic Rogers package, I will have access to Sportsnet.
Well,
I will have all that.
On the same note as of some blackouts, there was a problem when I would watch football, and I would go to watch, like, a Miami-Buffalo game where they were in Buffalo. So it's like, under any other circumstance, I would normally be able to watch the Miami game, unless they're playing a shitty team, because then they're not going to be on TV. But... Then when they play like Miami Buffalo in Buffalo, so it's like a division rivalry game that you want to watch that could totally change the AFC East, and it's blacked out because the game's not sold out. Yeah, like the stadium's not sold out. So it's like 50 miles of the stadium or something like that, they black it out. So it's like, here, you can't watch it. And it's like, do you understand my situation? It's like, that means that I have to get my passport, go across the border,
get in a car,
go to Buffalo. That's a whole different thing that you don't want to do. Just going to Buffalo alone, even if I was in, like, Rochester, and I still wouldn't want to go to Buffalo. But you have to go to Buffalo, and then go to the... and then go to the game.
It's so stupid. It's just stupid. It infuriates me. It infuriated me, I'm going back to what I was saying, the playoff things just infuriated me, and it's backdoor deals. I can't think of any other way of it being than backdoor deals where, because Rogers and TSN have national and regional rights to certain games, they need to keep those rights because they purchase those rights. Like, TSN will make or Bell will make a deal with the NHL for regional rights to, say, Ottawa Senators games or to Toronto Maple Leafs games. They will buy market rights. So if you can just watch the games on NHL Game Center, where all the money is going to the NHL, not to Bell or Rogers or TSN or Sportsnet, they have to say, like, you cannot broadcast these games in those regions on the NHL Game Center because we have the regional rights to it.
And that's why it's literally all hilarious. That what kind of pull do these broadcast companies have that the NHL can't have, like, the commanding broadcast rights for their own league?
I'm telling you, it's like it. I'm telling you, the NHL Game Center soon it's going to have downloadable content. If you don't want to if you don't want to see the ads, pay extra. If you want to watch blackout games, pay extra. Pay extra on the base of what you have.
Oh,
it's
what do they do?
It's Microtransactions. Boom. There you go.
So what do they do in that NHL Game Center during like commercials? Do they play commercials, or is it just like?
No, they actually do play commercials because you can select the broadcast you want. So say if I'm watching like a Minnesota-Colorado game, I can broadcast I can choose the Wild broadcast or the Colorado broadcast.
Oh, so
and
it's still
you just watch.
Oh, okay, I get it.
You just watch the commercials that they have. However, it's weird because whenever I'm watching an American team, I see the commercials. But if I'm watching I can still get TSN feeds. But if it's for like Ottawa or Winnipeg or Edmonton, Calgary, Vancouver, because that's not my region, I can watch them.
Yeah.
But this is where it's going to get a little weird. Like I remember after Rogers purchased those national rights, they said something along the lines that there's going to be no more blackouts, but they didn't specify for what? Because on the NHL website, it still says that regional games are blacked out. So I'm a little bit confused, and I want a little bit more clarification on that. And I've tried to do some digging, but I can't find it.
Because I don't know how much you watch Leafs TV, but
no, I don't have Leafs TV.
Leafs TV.
See, I can't even watch Leafs TV games. I can't watch those either.
Yeah, Leafs TV. They don't play commercials. When they go to a TV timeout, they just like pan around the ice, and then they have a split camera feed, so it's like one's like going around the crowd and like going in the
Paul Hendricks doing it.
Yeah, it's just doing some like other stuff, and then the other one it'll just show like the crowd's goalie, and it'll count down, like it has a little countdown until the thing comes back. So it's even more boring than commercials. But
I'd rather watch the commercials. I'd rather watch that Toyota commercial or that the Dodge commercial with Dennis Leary narrating it every 5 minutes. I'd rather watch that.
Yeah.
No, sorry. I got really fired up because this is even more ranting here is because I think the service is broken in a way where it's based on your IP address. That's how they tell which region you're in.
So that's what I was kind of joking on about the anonymous proxy thing.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's what I figured. But there were times where I would why I had to call NHL support in the past was I would go to watch a Wild Colorado game, for instance, again. I'm sorry, this game is being broadcast in your region, therefore it's blacked out. What? Nope, that's not true. But okay, I'll watch the San Jose LA game. This game is being broadcast in your region.
Look out the window, and it's just like
am I hovering over the entire United States? And so I would call an NHL support, and you can tell this happens a lot because I was like, yeah, it's telling me that all the games are blacked out. All right, can you go to this website and then it'll get your computer's IP address and then can you just hit submit and then I'll fix it on my end? Sure, done. That's it. So you guys know this problem, yet you're not fixing it. It's annoying.
So next time that happens, then I wonder you could just put a proxy in then, couldn't you?
I think that they have this website where it's tied to their service where it detects your IP address and then it adds it to your NHL Game Center. I don't know how it works. I just trust them because every single time I've called them, they fixed it just like that.
So the moral of the story is, if we have any European viewers, it's well within your financial benefit to buy this NHL package.
Because they will help you. It's just like.
This is like the
good
Florida
for European
Panthers
viewers because they can watch all hockey.
Yes, that's what I meant.
European viewers can watch everything.
This is like the Florida Panthers game. It's blacked out in your region. It's just like I'm in the Czech Republic.
Excuse me, I'm in Trenčín, Slovakia, and I can't get a Tampa Bay game. Is it being broadcast in your region? I'm gonna repeat that. I'm in Trenčín, Slovakia.
You speak very good English.
Yeah, but no, I think it's just I compare it to other forms of entertainment, especially with games. That's why I said I just know I have this feeling that if they want to do well by the consumer, if they want to please the consumer, they're going to add that.
Oh yeah, don't make me laugh. Sorry.
It's just like a board meeting. Okay, guys, I think this will be very good for the consumer.
There's just a silence, and then it burst out into laughter.
Or it's like that J.K. Simmons laugh from Spider-Man for J. Jonah Jameson. just that GIF every single time they post it. But it's just that's what I feel like it is. You look in games right now where microtransactions are everywhere. You buy the full game, you get the game, but there's things missing. Download this launch day DLC. Oh, you want this new gun? Pay $250 for it. Where you subscribe to NHL Game Center for $139 a year, which is quite steep for a student, mind you.
Yes.
Pay the extra, and you can actually watch the game you want to watch, because you can't watch the games in general because you bought NHL Game Center because you don't have a TV. And that's my anger.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already discovered, I think that this is our second tangent, that anytime we're talking about space and video games, we spin off into Mass Effect somehow. But anytime we're talking about phones or TV, we talk about Rogers, and then we spin off into Rogers or Bell hate.
And eventually we go into the sport ball, and Will zones out.
I tried to focus that time.
This was actually like one of the first times that we started talking about like sports or anything like that.
Yeah, we've done 35 episodes, and now we've talked about sports. Yep, this is good. Or 35 with an asterisk, depending on how many lost episodes we may or may not have.
Yeah, well, every episode has an invisible asterisk.
Yeah, it's there. Just know it's there. Just know it's there. Yeah. You know, I just realized with 7 people living in this house, they're probably wondering every time they walk by my room, who the fuck is he talking to?
Yeah, I wonder that too, even when we're not doing the podcast. I'm just like, is Danny talking to somebody right now?
Well, it was funny because when I was playing Destiny with Will the other day, Harrison came into the room and he was talking. He's like, hey Danny, what are you doing? And then Will's just like, Danny, are you talking to somebody? Yeah, my housemate's here. I'm always like, there's always someone like outside my door wondering, who the fuck is Danny talking to?
So, Will, I was meaning to ask you, to bring you back into the conversation, but
okay.
How are your classes going? Have you made a video game yet?
I have not made a video game yet. It's going very slowly. Video games won't happen for a couple more years.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, eh?
What classes are like? You're doing a sound design course, right?
Sound design. I got 2 art courses, 2 programming.
Like concept
and no,
okay.
Like perspective.
Oh, okay.
And making rooms.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's nice.
It's going. It's going
so,
slowly.
Lee, spontaneous trip to Ottawa?
I was actually thinking about that. That we'll have to do that.
Just go for a
and
weekend.
then that would be, I don't know what we would do because we'd have to, we couldn't just go up there for the one night, and we'd have to actually make a trip of it.
Yeah, but we'd have to bring Mark too. We'd have to find him.
And then
Mark has a cell phone.
Yes.
I still don't believe you, because I've messaged him and he never messaged me back. But you told me that he talked to you about me talking to him.
Well, yeah, because if you text him, he answers your texts through my Facebook.
What?
That's the most backwards thing ever. He bought a cell phone and went back in time.
Okay, Mark helped me move my stuff from Guelph into a trailer. I got 2 texts from him on that day. This is the conversation. Have you arrived from me? I just did, from Mark. Holy crap, a text from Mark. I will be down in a minute. And then as one word, all caps, I hate texting.
It's
the only text I've ever received from Mark.
I'm not gonna lie. The day you messaged us saying he had a phone, I was at work and I saw the message and I just smiled because I got to laugh. So I was like, you don't understand the significance of this day.
I just picture the read receipt on that dated it's 1758 or something like that. Like he's just traveling through time.
That's probably not wrong, right?
Yeah.
But no, I was gonna say that we'll have to make a trip of it, and then that we can do a nerdcast then, and that'll be the drunk nerdcast.
Oh my god, that is gonna be beautiful.
Oh no. You guys heard the story, right?
Oh, when you tried tequila that one time recently?
Oh, it wasn't tequila. It was whiskey. It was warm gin and whiskey.
Oh, I thought it was tequila. Oh, it was whiskey.
No.
I got the text that you were talking about. Was that the story you were talking about?
Probably, yeah.
When you finally said I tried this for the first time and now I feel funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's good.
I get chatty. I called Richard 6 times.
You called Sorry, that just made me laugh. Yeah.
I was playing Assassin's Creed. It didn't go over too well.
Well, you can't be drunk and be an assassin. Kind of strong job.
Well, it was.
Don't drink and assassinate, guys. Stay safe. But yeah, no. Anyway, phones.
Mark has one.
Phones.
I guess
the original topic.
We can kind of do a battle royale of like the most recent phones. Like, because to me, it only seems like
you need to get a BlackBerry.
Yeah, no kidding. But because to me, it seems like the only two choices are pretty much iPhone or Samsung.
I would say 2 years ago that would have been the case.
I'm saying
but
now
you can get like. Well, I would disagree because Sony makes very good phones, very good Android phones. Same with HTC. HTC made great phones, then they just
I thought they made Windows phones.
No, they do both. But the majority of the manufacturers do Android. HTC's HTC One is a great phone.
I
and
heard
the
about
Sony
that,
Xperia phones. The Xperia phones are really good because they also integrate with PlayStation.
One.
The Xperia phones don't get a lot of like exposure because I don't think Sony's main market is in the States and Canada. You know, the biggest market for phones probably in the world, but whatever. But I know Bell gives a lot of exposure to Sony phones because like after I left the source, I actually would complain like you guys need to bring in like the Sony Xperia phones. They're actually pretty good. And my manager laughed at me. He said we only sell phones that we only advertise phones that will probably sell. Literally 6 months after I left, Xperia advertisements all over the Bell website.
They were just waiting for you to leave so they didn't have to pay you like a raise or a stipend or something like that. Like, oh, okay, thanks for that little tidbit there, Danny.
Yep.
The Bell Corporation.
Call it in. But no, like the Xperia Z3 is waterproof. Like it's full on waterproof. It's like glass front back, so it's similar to an iPhone, but I don't think that makes it any more durable. So I don't know how prone you are to dropping your phone. But if you want to take it in the shower with you, go right ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's pretty much the main benefit of the waterproof phones.
Yeah,
you can fill in the blanks from there. But
the other thing is like it integrates with PlayStation as well. I know with the Xperia Z3, this is mainly for PlayStation 4, but you can do remote play with the Xperia Z3.
Yeah, but how good is that?
Oh, it's gonna be terrible, but it's a selling feature.
That's hardly a selling feature.
But like, see, the same thing with the Samsung. Like, what does the Galaxy phones have that Xperia or HTC does not have?
Well, I don't know, but I don't need gimmicks. I just want a solid phone that performs well.
You'll get gimmicks as well with Samsung phones. They throw in their Samsung apps all the time.
Yeah, that's true.
The amount of the only apps that Sony throws in are the PlayStation mobile app, like the PlayStation app that you can even download on iPhone. Their default music app is called Walkman. Hell yeah, throwback. That's a throwback for the centuries for you right there. Anyone who's 45 and listens to our podcast probably just got wet.
It's just like, what are you talking about? I had a Walkman. I bet we all had Walkmans.
I had a Discman. But I know like a lot of people say that Sony's like Android custom interface is the lightest of like HTC, Samsung, and Sony, where it's more closer to stock Android than the others. Because Samsung is not like they've made it clear that they try to do their own thing. Like when you don't think of Samsung as Android phones, you think of like, oh, it's a Galaxy phone.
Yeah.
Like it's an actual Galaxy phone. It's a Samsung phone. It's Samsung and Apple, not Android and iOS. It's Samsung and Apple because they're the big players. They are the biggest ones. But you get like all these stupid features like a heart rate monitor on the back of the S5.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
S5. The S5 is waterproof. You get S Health, like their health app. You get their version of a fingerprint scanner, which is a swipe down instead of just touching the home button. You get
that's something.
It is something. I'll admit the camera on the Galaxy phones are probably the best. I would say like I've
heard
seen
they're phenomenal.
I have never used one. I've seen like camera samples on the phones themselves at stores. They are amazing. So if you want a great camera on your phone, there you go. And but a great feature with Samsung phones that I don't know how you feel about it, but you can actually change the fucking battery.
Oh yeah.
Oh damn.
Yeah, like all Galaxy phones at least up until the Galaxy S5, they even still do it on the S5 is you can remove the backplating and put a new battery in.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
And you can add micro SD storage as well.
Yeah, that's good too.
Yeah, because that's one thing I don't like about the iPhone is that you can't do that. But Apple makes a lot of money on selling, like we were saying earlier, selling those extra capacity phones. Because $100 for an extra 32 gigs of storage is absolutely outrageous. But I'm gonna buy it anyway.
How is the HTC phones for like bloatware and stuff, like their stuff that they put on there?
I would say I know the least. Like out of the Sony, Samsung, and HTC, the least I know about is HTC. I know Robert Downey Jr. had an advertising deal with them, if that counts.
Oh yeah.
But
Well, I remember when they first came out, like when they first came on the scene, like just after the iPhones started to get huge. I was looking at those.
HTC was big.
Yeah, I was looking at those and they looked like good phones.
Well, the thing with like a lot of people when they talk about like the best Android phone to go with is Samsung with the Galaxy phones. They don't really put a lot of effort in the construction of the phone itself. Everything is made of plastic.
Oh yeah.
Everything is plastic construction. But that makes it lighter. That makes it a lot lighter. But it makes it less like it feels like less premium or luxurious in hand.
I don't give a shit about
However, HTC they use aluminum, or if you're British, they call it aluminium.
No, they shouldn't. I like how they also like real life retconned that because they were just like, oh well, it's spelt that way. And we're like, what are you talking about? No, it's not. Yes, it is, and then they changed it. I actually have no idea if that's true or not, but that's what I'm going with.
Want, really, I really don't care. But they use aluminum, and the aluminum construction and the way it's curved, it makes it feel better in the hand. I would say with the Sony phones, it's literally glass front and back, so it looks like it's constructed the same way the iPhone 4 and 4S were constructed, with a glass front back. Yeah. So I don't know how that would feel, where it's probably like it's just like a square design kind of thing. But yeah, no. If you want like just a solid phone and you don't really care too much about the premium construction and stuff and the premium materials used, Samsung's fine.
Well, the way I look at it
is... But they load their shit on it. They load it up.
Yeah, the way I look at it is that it's going to be an upgrade regardless. So.
Yes, that's another... that's the way I look at it with my phone. Like, I could get the iPhone 5 and it'd be an upgrade with what I have.
Yeah, I think that I'm just gonna dive right in and just get the Samsung and just see what I like about it. Because then... Again, if I don't like it, a year later I can get a totally different phone. So.
Well, see, Will and I are going to cry in a corner because this now officially ends our 2-year-long iMessage conversation.
That's true.
But the Facebook Messenger app is pretty good.
Yes.
Yeah. The butts conversation will live on.
Yeah, the conversation will live on our Facebook messaging conversation called Butts.
Also, did you guys see the commercial?
One day you could change the name.
Did you guys see the commercial for the new Note? The Samsung Galaxy Note?
No, I don't really follow those phablets, and for the love of God, don't call it a phablet. I hate that name.
I don't.
Even though I just
where did that name come from? I just heard that the other day, and I have no idea what that's.
It's like when the first Note came
phone
out.
tablet. Oh, okay, I get it. I just worked it out in my brain right now.
I went on this huge rant the other day for no reason when people like combine two things, like two separate things. For example, when it's Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, Brangelina, I'm like, no, they're two separate people. Or it's a phone or a tablet, it's a phablet. No, it's a large phone. Well, it's just a very large phone.
The commercial was, they were talking about how they were just like, when we first released the Note, a lot of people had a lot to say about it, and they were talking about how everybody was saying, like, this thing is huge, and it's, like, unwieldy in your hand, and it's just, like, you need two hands to operate it, right? And then it's just like, And it's like, those are valid criticisms, but now that iPhone's releasing its 6 Plus, let's see what people are saying. And it's just like, and then they showed a screenshot of it, like, side by side, and it was actually smaller than the 6 Plus of the new, like, of the notes. And it's just like, let's see what people are saying about the 6 Plus, and it's just like, it's not that big. You can handle it with one hand. And it's like totally the opposite of what people were saying with the Note. And it's just like, we were ahead of the game, and we know what we're doing.
See, that's like one thing I love about like cell phone media or like mobile media and all that stuff was that like it's really funny to read articles where Apple will now release something and they talk about how cool it is and how like it'll like make the experience a lot better when like let's be objective here. Android has done this in the past.
Oh yeah.
Like, the iPhone 6 Plus I think is absolutely stupid in every way. I really hate it. I really hate the fact that it exists.
I just like the fact that I was basically watching a political attack ad, but it was with two technologies.
Yep.
But just this, the whole thing, the whole commercial was hilarious, and it's like it made me want to buy a Note because it's just like everything they were saying was true. Where it's just like people were just like basically just jerking off to Apple, right?
I will say this: when the first Note came out, I think it was about 2 years ago. I didn't think it would kick off, like it would like take off. I wander around Mac's campus. So many people have it. It's huge, literally, and it's huge in the fact that like it's actually selling a lot.
I mean, it does fit a market. Like when you look at it as people don't want to carry around a full tablet, and their phone isn't big enough. So that bridging of the gap is, some people might want that.
This doesn't make sense though, because you look at phones now like the S5 or the Xperia Z3, and they're still 5.3 inch screens, but they're not dubbed that phone tablet phablet name. But the first Note only had a 5.3 inch screen, and like so it's I want it like where's the consistency here? Like, there's no consistency in the naming convention.
There is no consistency. It's the Wild West, Danny.
I know, but it's...
Phones sit down at the poker table and you might not leave it. You might leave with lead in your belly.
Oh my god. Shut up.
Get thrown off the back of a horse and dragged by one leg out from a rope. You just see HTC Ones dragged down the street.
It's just like see with the two new iPhones, like I'm getting the iPhone 6, the regular iPhone 6. I'm just going to get that because it's 4.7 inches. That seems perfect. It's good. It's the great phone size because that it will still fit in my frickin' pocket. Because that actually is a selling point to me. Can I fit it in my pocket without having to be like, okay, that feels weird. It looks like I have a massive growth coming out of my leg.
I was on board with this entire conversation talking about phones until you just started to talk that last sentence, and it's just like my mind just like took a nosedive into the gutter, and it's just like this is such an interesting place we've went here.
Well, like that's important to me. Will my phone fit in my pocket?
That's
just what I'm saying.
That's not what I got out of that.
It's not the most important. But it's just like the iPhone 6 Plus is the perfect example. It is the representation of Apple's doing a Me Too kind of thing. And whereas like this wouldn't like
people have been talking. I heard a lot of people talking about like with the Watch and the 6 Plus and the 5C, and people are saying like all of this stuff would not even be entertained to be a thought if Steve Jobs was still around.
No, it's true because Steve Jobs hated larger phones. Like, but I was listening to the radio this morning, and they said this. They said one of the few things that Steve Jobs got wrong about the iPhone or about phones in general was when he said people did not want larger phones. Because if you look at the iPhone for the first 3 years, like everything they were doing was right. Like everything that like when the first iPhone came out, everyone was like, "Holy crap!" Like they like Apple's whole idea of like knowing what we wanted before we wanted, that was actually true because that's like we can't really picture ourselves without that kind of stuff anymore. We can't picture ourselves without a cell phone.
Yeah,
but I mean, now you see like
I think the whole size thing came from like because when cell phones were first invented, they were fucking gigantic. Like, you needed to carry around a whole pack, like in the 80s.
Suitcase.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, when people
like
were
CEOs
saying,
with a suitcase.
I want a smaller phone, of course they want a smaller phone, because I don't want to carry around this bag, this duffel bag full of phone technology, right? So then it was just like, nobody really decided when they wanted to stop. So then you get these giant, like, these microphones that are like, I don't even know, they're basically the size of a thumb drive. It's just,
Yeah.
and then smartphones started to come out, right? And then now people, it's like, okay, the screen is too small now, right? When you're making the jump from, like, these small microphones, like, compared to, and then, so that's your, I'm trying to think of how to phrase this. That's your starting point when you're making a smartphone, right? Like, that small or that size. And granted, they did go bigger.
Yeah.
But I mean, now people are just like, okay, I want to watch. And this kind of goes back into our other thing. It's like, I want to watch movies and other things. Let's say I want to watch YouTube videos and stuff like that on my phone. Well, a smaller screen isn't good for that.
3.5-inch screen won't do it.
Right?
Yeah.
So then you want a bigger screen. And I'm not talking about, like, a gigantic screen. Like, I think the Note is too big for a phone. But I don't know where I would stop, right? Again, that goes with old-style phones. When you say, I want a smaller phone than a briefcase, where do you stop? Right?
Sorry, while we're on the topic of small phones, I'm going to tell you about a phone that is so small and also has probably the single worst name in cell phone history. The Sony Ericsson Xperia X10 Mini Pro.
Oh.
I remember the Sony
Ericsson. It was the size of a credit card. It was the size of a credit card. That's all
had my phone that I had it was the Motorola Crazer, the phone after the Razr.
Fancy.
I'm looking this shit up right now.
And it was basically like, if you picture a razor, it was like if you cut a razor in half.
Oh.
That's what it was.
I know which one yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I see that.
So I had a Crazer. The Crazer was my first phone. And then after that, I had a Motorola Rocker, it was called.
Oh, whatever.
That was a cool phone.
I remember that. Like, that was the talk of our physics class one day.
Because I was like, every time I would break it out, it would be like, I think it was like 11th grade that I had it, right? 10th or 11th, and I was just like, and it was like, yeah, you think that looks cool? Push the button. And you would push it, and it like had a little, like, it had like tactile feedback when you press the button, and it would like kind of like have a mini vibration under your thumb. But the whole thing was just glass. It was like a smartphone looking thing, but it had a keypad, and you just like, so it was basically like a touchpad. That was when smartphones first started to come out. That was like the death thrall of the traditional phone, was the rocker. And then after that, I had iPhones from then on out.
Yeah. I just think, like...
What was your guys' first
me
phones?
personally, any phone over 5 inches is just...
Yeah?
It's like a crappy flip phone. I forget what it was called. I transitioned to the LG Rumor at one point.
Everybody had that freaking Rumor.
I didn't.
Or was it the Rumor? I don't know. Hold on.
A lot of people had that Rumor.
Okay, no, it wasn't the Rumor, but I don't think... Wait, no, hold on. I don't think it was the Rumor, but it was that style of phone where it had like the slide up. Yeah, the side slide keyboard. But the original one I had was a Samsung flip phone. I don't remember what it was called, but I had that. Like, I first got it in, I think, grade 10, and then I had the LG Rumor styled phone until second year, and then I got my iPhone 4S in second year of university. So I got it like almost 3 years ago because my contract's almost up. So yeah, everyone who's listening from America, we had 3-year cell phone contracts for a while. Ain't that a bitch?
What's my phone history? I started with the Motorola Razr.
Because everyone,
everyone
grade
loved it. 9 to like grade 11. Then I got my Crackberry, whatever it was.
Oh wait, no, you called it the BlackBerry shit.
Yeah, right. And now I'm on iPhone 4S.
Yeah. But you like look at that and you look at the phones you had, and then like how we went from a crappy flip phone to this slide out keyboard phone, and then all of a sudden, like at one point, huge jump, and then look at how smartphones are like evolving every year.
It's like the great leap forward all over again.
That's right. It was just like it's just insane.
And it seemed like there were phones that like everybody had, because like
the LG room.
Everybody had the Razor at one point. Like, so when you're talking about like what phone does everybody have? Everybody has the Razor. Yeah, that was the most popular phone for the longest time.
Oh yeah.
And then after that, it was the Rumor, and there was probably and a lot of people had Blackberries too.
Yeah, because of Canadian pride.
Yeah.
But now, and then there was the point where anyone who had a smartphone, the smartphone they had was an iPhone. But then Android, because Android when it first started was, when it first released, it was crap. It was terrible. But now it's like...
Do you remember when that period when iPhones first came out? Or at least here, because I think they were out in the States before they were here.
We didn't get the first iPhone. I totally didn't realize this, but it was never released in Canada. We didn't get the iPhone until the iPhone 3G.
Yeah.
Except a friend of my brother's, I think, ordered one in from the States. That's how we got it in Canada. You had to order in from the States.
But I remember when we first got the iPhone, so it was the 3G that we were getting here. So it was around the time the 3G came out. Everybody who had Blackberries was just like, well, I don't see why I need an iPhone. Like, my Blackberry just does all that stuff. It's still good. It's better. Blackberries is so much better. Do you remember that? How many BlackBerry apologists there were?
I remember this. I remember when I was working at the Source, and this was around the time when, the iPhone 4, this was the summer around the iPhone 4, around the time the 4S came out. This one girl, I sold a phone to her. She's the only she was buying a BlackBerry, and I asked her so if you don't mind me asking, why do you want to stay with BlackBerry? And she said, well, I'm not gonna lie, it's because of BBM. How long did that last?
Yeah.
I never actually used BBM.
I downloaded BBM on my iPhone because I was thinking if we wanted to not use Facebook Messenger, we can use an app like BBM because it's free, and we can use it. But then I downloaded it and I was like, this does not feel right. Just the BlackBerry app on my iPhone.
It feels wrong.
Or if you had an Android phone, the BlackBerry app on your Galaxy.
That's their future though for BlackBerry is just developing.
Oh yeah, no, they can't do phones.
High-functioning cross-platform apps.
They have some new phones coming out that they look weird, but I think that when there was a huge rumor, when it was made obvious that BlackBerry was looking to be bought by a company, I was so surprised that Apple didn't buy them.
Yeah, hostile takeover.
Because my thought process was, if Apple wants to own not only the consumer smartphone business, but they also want a huge foothold in the business and enterprise. And if there's one thing that BlackBerry has always done perfectly is they have secure phones. Everything on their phone is secure. BBM is the most secure way of communicating because it's not done through your phone number. It's done through an encrypted PIN number. So I was so shocked that they didn't buy it. And then a year later, they up and make this huge deal with IBM. And now everyone's holy shit, now they're all going business savvy. But I was so set, and I would have put money down on Apple buying BBM or Apple buying BlackBerry, and I would have lost, but I would have put money down on that.
Yeah. Well, I
still put money down on Microsoft buying BlackBerry.
It was dire straits for them for a while,
Well, yeah, because they released the Z10, or they released BlackBerry 10, which was delayed an insane amount. I remember it was only last January, I think a year, 2 years ago, or a year or 2 years ago when it came out. When but that was supposed to come out half a year before, and they said they delayed it to get it right, to make sure it worked, which is fine. That's how you should do it, but you should have thought about this a long time ago. Because they came late. Their phones had no apps on it. Their phones from what I remember, BlackBerry had to develop the Facebook and Twitter app. It wasn't Facebook and Twitter that developed the app, or at least I don't think that. I don't think
really?
it was.
They did it themselves?
I'm pretty sure like
God.
BlackBerry and they had, like, I could be wrong. Like this is just what I read, but the only thing keeping BlackBerry afloat right now is the fact that there's a lot of companies that still like use BlackBerry phones for their employees. Like for instance, Jamie's father works for Loblaws, and they use Blackberries. Like he has a corporate BlackBerry phone, and he hates it. He has the BlackBerry Q10, and he hates it. He hates the fact that it's a touchscreen. And then I was telling Jamie, like, well, they're coming out with a new BlackBerry that brings back the trackpad, and she was like, oh, he hated the trackpad too. I'm like, well, then he's never going to be pleased with the phone he has, because everything now is touchscreen. If you're not going anywhere, it's not going to happen. But no, like that's the only thing keeping them is that. And their future is exactly what you said, cross-platform software. And you can see that now. The fact that they released BBM that is what they were doing.
Well, I can't remember what the app was called, but there was an app that people were like freaking out about that it would allow you to communicate between like any phone. And it would be like a messenger
WhatsApp.
app. No, it was
WhatsApp
before
Messenger.
that. It was before that.
Oh. Because I was going to say WhatsApp is what does it now.
No,
a lot of apps do that now. Like
there was one when we were still in high school, and people were like freaking out about it. And then it finally came out. Everybody downloaded it, and it was like added a few people and just like chatted, and it was just like, oh, okay, I guess that's a thing.
eBuddy Messenger?
What?
eBuddy Messenger. Does that ring a bell?
I don't think it was that.
Because
I honestly don't remember the name.
Because I remember what happened was, like, if you downloaded eBuddy Messenger, you can log in with your MSN account. MSN, may it rest in peace.
Oh,
You can like hook up your Hotmail MSN account, and you can talk to people through that.
No, I think
it might have been eBuddy Messenger. Okay, because can we all just take a minute to acknowledge MSN and how just like how we all used it, and then we all just stopped, and then they announced that they were shutting down the service, and nobody cared.
In the future, like 20, 30 years, when somebody our age goes to like run for president or prime minister, that's what people are going to leak, is their old MSN conversations.
MSN combos,
yeah.
Well, it's like their name.
They were stored.
It's like their name, and then there's like a bunch of like hearts or weird smiley faces or like some obscene like series of like emoticons.
Or like they would say BRB 10 minutes.
Yeah, and do you remember how people like made their name like as long as it would allow, and it's just like this random like saying in like these weird fonts that you had to like, oh yeah.
They would put like a heart and the person they were dating in high school for that week.
It's just like, Mr. President, could you acknowledge who these 8 people are?
This conversation. This conversation you had.
We have a conversation from Skater Boy 69, and boy is spelled B-O-I, and Skater has an 8 in it.
Skater Boy 69 was your MSN name, but can you explain the rest of the combos used under your email address, hotbodyawesome@hotmail.com? Because we all had ridiculously, insanely stupid MSN Hotmail email addresses back then. Because like I had DJ_wild92@hotmail.com because I was just so freaking cool.
Send all your hate mail to that.
Cool. Yeah, please do. I probably have a lot of like unread messages. I haven't been on that account in a while.
But that's seriously like awesome. That's seriously like a dystopian future fiction that needs to be written, is these terrible conversations being dug up.
Well, no, because it's true. You're 100% right, because we live in the world where everything we do online is documented. Guys, I think we like NERDcast films. We're making a movie. Let's do it right now. Well, not
MSN,
right now. Let's do
the dark side.
But yeah, like pretty much like that. That's why like I remember there was like a presentation being done about like Facebook and how people have been fired over stuff they put on Facebook, because obviously like be conscious of the photos you put on Facebook, or be conscious of your privacy settings, at least on Facebook. Like you're free to do whatever you want. Like I'm not gonna, like, if I see a picture of you drunk on Facebook, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna judge you. I'm like, no, whatever. But then there are like companies who like look at that like, oh, they partied too hard, or ooh, they just do this, or like companies, like they can read this stuff. Because I remember when I was working for Bell, this is a true story. I was trying to set up a customer on Virgin Mobile, and just our web portal where you set up the phones just wasn't cooperating. It was like shutting down. I had to call them. I had to do this. So I tweeted about, can it just be really easy to set up a phone on Virgin Mobile? Come on. Within 20 minutes, I got a message from Virgin Mobile on my Twitter asking me, do you need any assistance? I was like, I'm deleting this right now. Like, you can't say anything or do anything without people, like, they can find this. Especially companies like that, because if you, the mere mention of their company, they have that record.
But I mean, like, where's the line of, like, let's say in the future that you're, like, in 10 years from now, you're going for a job, like, or trying to get a big promotion, and then they go and look through your Facebook, and it's like, well, here's a picture of you from 2011 with your shirt off drunk. We can't hire somebody like this.
Oh, you mean you can't hire someone who acted like a dumbass in high school?
Yes, that's what I mean. So, like, where's the line?
It's stupid. Like, because we've all done stupid things in our life, and I'm sure there's stupid. Like, man, there's a picture of me on Facebook with a mullet. That's probably the worst thing on Facebook.
Yeah.
I was in grade 10. I did stupid things in grade 10. Not gonna lie, I grew a mullet, but that's not bad compared to what some people have put up when they've been like showing like shirt off drunk or something. But you're right. Like if you're like 35
high with like a bong and stuff like that.
Yeah, like if there's no like, it sucks that you're now like, you're technically, if you think about it like that, you're held accountable for stuff you did 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Like just a picture of you, like shirt off drunk. You didn't, like, I imagine, like, say if you had a criminal record. Like, it can go through a police record and find that you extorted money from a company you worked for in the past. I might not want to hire you, but that's fine.
Of course, you could also.
Then you get some picture when you were drunk and a picture was posted on Facebook. What law were you breaking there?
Yeah, you could also
Apart
spin
from the
it
fact
as
that if you were 17, you were drinking underage, but that's fine.
You could also spin it as like some sort of thing where it's just like, well, here's this picture of you at this party here, and you're clearly drinking underage. Like, do you have any response to that? And it's like, well, that points towards my social skills and my excellence to work in a crowd, and or some like just totally bullshit like. Right? That could work in your favor.
I don't understand. Like, see, like, I don't really take pictures, or like pictures aren't really taken of me, so I don't really have a lot of the stuff on Facebook, really. Yeah. So it's more like I don't really have to worry about that, but like other people do, and they shouldn't have to worry about that. They really shouldn't. But then you see people, they put their Facebook profiles to like private, which is good, like, because you want only your friends, the people that you accept friend requests for, or the people that you accept to follow you on Twitter, that you want, like, those are the people you want to see. You don't want just like a random employer just being like, oh, this person, this is their resume, let's look them up and creep them on Facebook. Let's Facebook stalk them, if we want to talk about it in a high school term.
Well, then there's also the aspect of like, if you're, let's say that you're somebody who's like even moderately famous, like you write for a website or something like that, right? And then you have it so that you have 2 Facebook accounts. One is your public, your like work account, I guess.
It's like a page where you don't have friends, people can like your page.
Yeah, and then the other one is you have a private account that's like your closest friends. It's like, so it's like private stuff you post on there. It's only seen by them. That's not to stop somebody from somehow getting in, either from hacking or maybe making a fake account or actually like
There's always
becoming.
backdoors, man.
I mean, like even somebody who's your friend posts a picture somewhere, and that goes to somebody else, and that goes to somebody else, and then it eventually gets leaked, and it's like a picture that you wouldn't necessarily want to get out.
Also, Lee, you're breaking up big time. Not gonna lie, I don't know if Will hears it on his end. You are breaking up quite a bit.
Oh yeah, well you guys were doing that earlier, and I seem to be delayed a bit, but.
So it doesn't come in through the recording, but that's fine.
Well, I'm not going to be crackling
Because
on the
I hope
recording.
my NHL Game Center rant didn't come in through that. It didn't break up, because I'm sorry, that was the best rant I've ever done. It's just, it's more like, I don't, like, that's the thing we don't really think about until we do, if that makes any sense. Like, I'll like I'm on online right now. I click on Facebook. I'll post a picture of myself. I don't really think about it until we start talking about it right now. And you realize, like, crap, like, we do that. Like, we do, like, we'll type something. I don't post Facebook statuses either.
No.
I think the last one I did was advertising the show I was in over the summer. That was a long time ago. Or when I did that, or when I did the Ice Bucket Challenge. Like, that was,
Yeah,
I posted that video. That's it.
Well, I was thinking of getting back
That's
into
the last thing
Facebook and just doing one post a day where it's just like a mini blog sort of thing. Just talk about something like a topical thing and be that guy.
Well, I used Facebook to advertise us. I used it to post.
I do that too.
I didn't do. Yeah, because I didn't do it for but I'm gonna do it for these ones here. But it's like I didn't like for the one we talked about. It was for the one that we recorded at Will's house when you released it in segments. I said, here's part 1, here's part 2, here's part 3. Be sure listen and give us your feedback. And that's how my cousin found it. That's how my friend Dylan from theater found out about it, because I posted it. So it's like
Shoutouts.
That stuff is fun. Yeah. There you go. And also, I would like to request Cheetos, because we did advertise you guys earlier on in the show.
We're gonna tweet at Cheetos.
Oh no.
we are giving you guys some exposure, and it was positive exposure. I walked to Fortino's to get a bag of your stuff.
Tweet at Fortino's.
Oh, there we go. And can we have a free $500 shopping spree at Fortino's, so me as a starving student, don't have to worry about that anymore?
Fortino's, can we have some free Cheetos?
Fortino's with Cheetos. The Cheetos at Fortino's sweepstakes.
I think we need to discuss how popular we need to get to where a Patreon would actually be worth it.
Oh boy.
Are you inspired by the Game Over Greggy stuff this week?
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, I knew it. But yeah, no, social media. I love how, let's just do like a roadmap here or not
Oh god.
not a roadmap. Let's just like see how this podcast or this episode has progressed. Started with, hey, how are you? Danny was eating an apple. Then we talked about Cheetos, found our episode title. Spoke about Destiny, got into phones, lasted about 2 minutes, went on a Bell Rogers rant, got back to phones, went on a marketing...
And there was a Bell Rogers rant and a bit of sports talk in there.
Yep,
Yeah,
there was sports talk in there. Yep. Then we got to phones again. We finished that, which led to us mourning MSN, which I never even expected that would even happen while we were recording this. And now we're on to social media.
Yeah.
And now we're asking for advertising stuff from Cheetos and Fortino's.
I'm not sure how I'm going to break this episode up. I could either just do big sweeping topics and you just do 3 like I normally do, but I could probably get like 5 or 6 out of this if I really wanted to.
Why don't you just post the whole video on YouTube?
It takes too long to upload, and it's...
I was going to say, that, like, how much of a pain in the ass is that?
You guys want to know what I was researching when you guys were talking about sports ball?
Actually, yeah, I'm quite curious.
I was learning about Helicoprion. It's an extinct shark that had a buzzsaw for a mouth, pretty much.
Well, that makes me want to shit my pants. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, they found a colossal squid.
Yes.
I know, eh?
That was actually, I know how much you guys are into that shit.
I was so excited I hate myself.
And, like, I was talking to Jamie and my other housemate yesterday, and we were talking about how scary that is, because I don't know if you guys can back me up on this, or you guys can quote me if I'm wrong. Is it true that, like, 80% of the ocean is undiscovered?
I don't know about 80, but it is a large number.
Yeah, so there's probably shit we have not found. No, there is shit we have not found. Like, look, we just found...
Did you guys hear about Dreadnoughtus?
Wait, is this an extinct thing?
Is this a Pokemon?
Yeah, it's a dinosaur. No,
does it have a mega?
Pokemon. No, it does not have a mega.
Alright,
yeah,
go on.
It was the most complete skeleton of a super source that they've ever found, where they can accurately calculate the mass, and it was awesome.
Wait, this was found like last week, was it?
Yeah.
And it was like 50 times larger than a T-Rex.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, no, I read about this. I didn't know what it was called, but no, I read about this.
Yeah,
50
Dreadnoughtus.
times larger than a T-Rex?
No, it wasn't 50. It was about 5.
Oh, okay. I was going to
I weighed
say.
about the same
There
as
was a
5
5
T-Rexes.
number in there. There was a
I was like,
5.
that's like
Come
the
on,
size
guys.
of a continent.
Grimsby right there, Central Park. Speaking of dinosaurs, a little bit off tangent. Do you guys hear that the new game from Guerrilla Games might feature robotic dinosaurs?
Why?
Fun fact of the day. Moving on.
Love dinosaurs.
There you go, Will. I think I just found your new game for PS4.
Actually, they're coming out with Primal Carnage, I think, for the PS4.
That's actually quite interesting.
Yeah.
Never really thought about that.
Yeah, that colossal squid that was I can't remember. They found it was like the way the article I read, it sounded like it was like frozen in ice, but I don't think it was. I think it was just in like Arctic water.
Wait, is it like how old is the squid? Did they date it or was it recently killed?
It wasn't killed. They found it dead, and it was like a fishing trawler that just like saw this thing and he was like, "Ooh, that's big," and then they pulled it in. Because before, I think, Will, you might know more about me than this, but they only found like tentacles and stuff like that, like severed tentacles and.
There have been a few full bodies, but the thawing process usually melts them down, and they've usually been juveniles. So I'm pretty sure this was the first adult.
And it was a female and it had eggs.
Yeah, it's exciting.
So is this the first reported sighting of a colossal squid? Because I remember there was like a video of it, or was that the giant squid? The video of
the giant squid and the colossal squid are two different things.
Okay,
because the colossal one's bigger.
Oh yeah, I imagine, especially when you told me that it was 350 fucking kilograms.
Yeah.
Like
the colossal squid's bigger, but the giant squid's longer.
Yeah.
Because the colossal squid, like I actually ran the the conversion. That's 770 pounds.
Yep.
That's quite a few pounds.
That's like.
It's like
wow.
That's like Danny.
Shut up.
Well, they said that there has to be some kind of large squid species because they would find like sperm whales and blue whales with like scratches on them from like tentacles and.
Because their suction cups have hooks on them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just like, what is making
if you have
this?
suction cups, why not get hooked on them?
Yeah. And not to mention that, well, like, I don't know if they ever if they pulled the beak out of the colossal squid yet, because that thing probably be huge.
Oh god, that.
Because
did you guys know that they actually figured out why colossal squids have such big eyes?
No.
Why? The only reason squids have eyes that big is to detect large predators in deep water, so sperm whales.
Oh.
The colossal the colossal squid was a predator to sperm whales?
Well, the sperm whales eat colossal squids.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you meant it the other way around. Like colossal squids ate sperm whales.
Which is kind of funny.
That would be exciting.
When you look at,
I almost cried.
When you look at a sperm whale, like it's huge, but its mouth is tiny.
Like it's all face.
Yes.
And a little bit of mouth.
So yeah, there's
Yeah,
lots of weird animals. But what was it? I think it was either they know more about the surface of Mars or the surface of the moon or something like that than they do
the ocean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also like it brought up the question. Like I remember how everyone talks about like, oh, why don't we go back to the moon? Why would we go back to the moon? We know everything about the moon.
Speaking of going to the moon,
on the moon.
They gave the contracts back to
SpaceX and Boeing.
Yeah.
Yep. Wait, I thought you were going to say, speaking about the moon, our current Kickstarter for Nerdcast to, or was it Nerdcast to Mars?
That's a stretch goal for our Patreon.
Yeah,
send Nerdcast
was it
to
send
Mars.
Nerdcast to Mars or was it send Nerdcast to the moon? It was Mars. Okay, all right, guys.
Why not both?
So yes,
please
donate.
It's like the moon is a stopover for the Mars.
it's just like a pit stop in case you have to go to the bathroom.
But yeah, so that'll be like we'll have a few stretch goals, and then it's just like 2 billion as the final one. Go to Mars.
Oh God, guys, this is really happening. But no, yeah. So,
I think we've weaved a web of.
We have covered We have covered like multiple topics and then topics within said topics, and we've covered and topics have crossed over. And then Lee, according to Will and I, just disappeared to another dimension at one point.
Yeah,
we agree that you've harnessed Mark's power somehow.
Yeah, you've inherited Mark. It's pretty funny, not gonna lie.
Mark told me that he has a physical form now.
Can we just, can you explain to me those pictures Mark takes and posts on Facebook?
Okay, but like you can talk about that, but I think we're gonna end the podcast first.
Okay, no, that'll be a post-mortem. Yeah. Listeners, you won't hear this.
All right, but anyway, thanks for listening. Thanks for sticking with us if you did throughout all this unnecessarily complicated. I picture like all these topics on a board in a conspiracy theorist's basement, and just like connected with string. But anyway.
And you're going to have a hell of a time at it.
Rogers,
sports, social media, MSN Morning.
And just like dinosaurs with a question mark circled in red marker in the middle.
Dinosaurs ... But
yes, anyway, thank you for listening, and we'll be back soon, hopefully.
Please follow us at NERDcast Podcast on Twitter.
Yep.
You can also follow us, or you can also like our Nerdbook Facebook page, by the way.
Well,
like,
probably
we still have Nerdbook.
Yes.
We are planning on rebooting. Like we're doing a whole reboot of Nerdcast here. Like it's an ongoing reboot. There's a roadmap that we have.
We just had a bit of a bumpy road.
Hopefully not like this roadmap, but
yeah. But anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Take it easy.
See ya.